Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Moose Minute Project on a Monday morning in a fog-filled Boscoville, Wisconsin. Sitting outside the shop and thought I would go live with my Moose Minute Project. So we will be going to work shortly. Got a few part deliveries to make today, but welcome to the Moose Minute Project and a Monday morning. So kicking off the work week here. And hopefully you're tuning in. Hopefully you get something out of these, at least if nothing, just a ways to hear some guy throw out random ideas, I guess. So, Moose Minute Project titled, So Many Questions as a Parent. Had this discussion yesterday with my wife, and I have had it over and over in my head many times, and also had a great discussion with a good friend of mine yesterday. And she and I talked about similar things as well as how do you measure how you were as a parent? I think every parent has problems with kids as far as their own kids, as far as, questioning if they did everything right and questioning this and questioning that. And all I can say is that if you gave it 110 doesn't work. That's one thing that's never made any sense to me. So if you give 100%, you did the best you can. Never question or don't feel bad how things go. If you did everything that you thought was correct, and don't get me wrong, there were mistakes. We can all look back and say, oh, at this time or that time, or maybe I was too hard on them. Maybe I wasn't too easy on them. I gave them what they want, whatever your thoughts are in your head. If you are now, all your kids are out of the house and they are living their lives on their own, all you can do is be there for them. Give them the advice that, you would think is right. Let them decide and let them choose. There's going to be learning processes along the way, especially for new parents. I think that's probably when the eye-opening will happen for most of the kids that you raised, is when they have kids of their own. They start experiencing things and going, oh, yep, mom was right, or dad was right, or, yeah, I can see why they were a little hard on it. I think we're all going to go through those times as parents of how could I have done anything better to make my kids better. And it's one of those hard things. I think it's somewhat stressful to you and there's people out there to be like, hey, if they're alive, you did your job. And that's not necessarily true. And for those of you that have lost kids, I deeply sorry. My dad and my mom, my dad lost a son and my mom was raising Jim at the time too. So we lost a brother, to a freak accident. That happens. But it still tears a parent apart. And, I know friends locally that have lost kids over various freak accidents or over accidents. And it's traumatic. So I get that. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm just talking about as through the high school years and everywhere else, as they're growing up, did you do the best you could do? And if you did, and you were there for them, that's all that can be said. So, yep, I was there for my kids. I did everything I can do. And if you have multiple kids, this is where it really becomes weird. You have multiple kids raised under the same scenarios, under the same rules, and they're all turning out different. They are. It's just kind of weird. You would think with all the similar rules and everything else, but that's also being human. As kids get older, they're going to go down paths that sometimes their parents wish they wouldn't go down. I know I went down paths my mom did not want me to go down, but I went down them anyway. And you learn from them. But if you have kids that were born under the same and raised under the same environments and everywhere else, and one turns off the rails completely and one goes straight down the tracks and does everything, you go, what happened? What did I do wrong? It might not be you. It might not be you at all. It probably isn't you. They're human. And especially as they get older and they get out of high school and when they graduate and they just decide to start doing different things. Between Roxanne and I, we have 5 kids. And quite honestly, they're all different. 2 of them that have kids now are coming back to the tracks of where now you go, oh, they're very similar. Because they have kids. And I think that's a big eye-opener for a lot of kids that go, oh, my parents do this. And now when they have kids, and especially when the kids get into that 4 or 5 stage, life becomes really interesting for them. And then all of a sudden, just wait till they have teenagers. I think this will be the best part for me, is when these kids turn 13, 14. I think they're going to understand where parents come from. And, most of the friends that I have that watch this, I've seen them with their kids, and it's all true. You go, what the heck? And like I said, the discussion I had yesterday, they have 2 children and 2 totally opposite, but they were raised under the same house, under the same rules, and they didn't have a divorce or any other kind of thing like that to throw them off the rails. So you just kind of go, what the heck? They're raised in a godly home, and it's just one of those things. They're human. And you just hope that they come back and you do that, where like Roxanne and I, we have 5 kids that were all raised under different things and different traumatic things that happened, losing a dad or, divorces and all of that. It just seems that those kind of rules. But I've seen so many people that have, kids that are totally different, and they didn't have any of that. So what triggered it? They're human. That's what triggered it. So don't beat yourself up a lot about it. If they're healthy and they're doing the right choices and they're somewhat heading down the right path or in the right direction, be glad you did what you did. Be happy that you were there for them. And that's all you can do. So that's the Moose Minute project for today. And it was just one of those things we had a discussion on yesterday as we were down helping, her son out and their family out is with their new baby, and got to go see the grandbaby, but just helping them around the house and that kind of stuff, because right now it's overwhelming, because guess what? They're new parents, and it's overwhelming. It is. There's no doubt about it. When you become a new parent, if we all look back the first time, it's definitely overwhelming for somebody that's, going down a new road, going down new paths that are going to have potholes, bumps, things in the way. Just clear the debris and keep going forward. That's all you can do. And reach out to your friends once in a while. Those friends that you don't talk to often, reach out to them. I did that yesterday. It was a great discussion that I had with very dear friends of mine. They were great mentors to me. They pointed me in the right direction quite a few times, so it was very, very fun to talk to them. And also a stroke survivor, she was. So she's back doing things she likes to do, not as fast as she'd like to do them, but she's doing them. And I am just a few days away here from being 7 years post-stroke. And I am doing all the things that I used to do. Not as fast sometimes, and not pain-free, that is for sure. But I'm doing them. So that is the bonus of this. And that's what the Moose Minute Project is about for me, is giving everyone hope and keeping positive. And if you can do anything today, bless somebody. And again, it doesn't have to be financially. I'm not saying that. If you can, great. Whatever you may be able to do to help somebody out, somebody struggling, if you're in businesses of where somebody is struggling and would love to maybe offer it at a discount or free. You know, again, I don't need you to hand out money. And yes, if you're in the business, you're like, Chris, well, if I do something free for them, that's handing, in a way it is, but not what I'm saying. You know, that's what all I want is just for everybody to say hi to people and open doors and that kind of stuff. You know, and I've been yelled at before for holding doors open for people. You know, I'm very capable. Well, that's not how I was raised. So I was raised to open doors and hold doors and walk along the curbside if you're walking next to a girl, because that's just how I was raised. So if a car is going to go out of control, they'll hit you instead of her, or, you know, whatever it may be. Say thank you to veterans. If you see a police officer around, say thank you to them. Or if you know of somebody on the fire department, ambulance crew, whatever it may be, just say thank you for what you do. So that's where it is today. Thank you for tuning into the Moose Minute Project. I will be back tomorrow morning with another edition. And as always, have a blessed day.